When you're shooting your travel videos, you want to capture as much as you want, and having those two features is an absolute must. In this video, I'm taking a closer look at FIMI PALM, a brand new gimbal camera that was recently released. The specs and features of this gimbal camera are quite impressive, making this little gadget a fantastic travel camera. So I'm going to unbox and put this gimbal camera to test. Make sure you watch till end of this video because I'm going to be sharing some sample videos and finding out if FIMI PALM is truly worth having as a travel camera. Alright, let's get right into it. Hey guys, Khizer here, helping you level up in creating awesome travel videos. If you're new, then please don't forget to hit that subscribe and notification button. Alright, let's talk about FIMI PALM. In case if you're wondering who FIMI is a company actually owned by Xiaomi, the huge tech company out of Hong Kong. Xiaomi founded this company FIMI back in 2014 to compete against companies such as DJI. They also have products such as drones, gimbals, and even action cameras. Alright, let's unbox this gimbal camera. Alright, as I open the box, I'm presented with a manual here. Put the manual aside, and then inside the box you see the gimbal with the cover. I'm going to take the gimbal out, put it on the side, and then behind the gimbal there's a cable. It's a Type-C cable, and that's it. There's nothing else inside the box. So that's all you get inside the box. You get the gimbal, you get the Type-C cable, and the gimbal cover. Alright guys, let's take a look at the FIMI PALM. Here it is. This is the FIMI PALM gimbal camera with the gimbal cover. And I'm going to take it off, put it aside. And guys, as I'm holding this gimbal camera, the FIMI PALM, I must say it feels really good because the product quality is really exceptional. Like, it's a really strong build gimbal camera. By all means, really well built. The quality is excellent. There's a grippy feel at the back as well, so it's well polished and well made, guys. This is really nice. Alright, let's take a closer look at this FIMI PALM. Alright guys, as we look closely at this gimbal camera, you can see this is a very small and lightweight gimbal camera. It only weighs 120 grams. If I compare this right beside my iPhone 11 Pro Max, you can see it's not even as tall as my iPhone, and it's way lighter. It's only 120 grams. Inside this gimbal you have a 1000 milliamp battery that gives you up to 240 minutes in recording. I believe you get that when you're recording in 1080p. At the front you have a 1.22 inch LED touchscreen, and this LED touchscreen gives you about 600 nits brightness, so that means it's going to be really bright and nice and visible when you take it outside. What you have here is also a 5-way joystick, a power and shutter button as well. At the top you have the camera and also the gimbal. And if you look at the bottom, this is the Type-C port for charging. If I just move to the back, we have a 1/4 inch thread hole here that allows you to attach various accessories, including an extension rod or a tripod. If I move this to the side over here, at the bottom you have a memory card slot. This is a micro SD card slot, and right below is a lanyard hole. One quick note about the memory card slot: this gimbal camera does not have an internal memory. There is no storage, so without a memory card inside you will not be able to save any video recording. So please make a note of that. You have to get a micro SD card and insert it into this gimbal camera to record and save all your files. And coming back to the front, there's one more thing that I forgot to mention, is the built-in microphone that this gimbal camera has, and it's located right here, right below the screen over here, and that's where the gimbal picks up all your audio. So I wanted to make sure that that was also pointed out. Okay, now let's talk about the specs of this gimbal camera, but why don't we go out and talk all about it? All right, guys, we are outside and it's a beautiful day. All right, so as I mentioned before, let's talk more about the FIMI PALM. I'm going to start off by talking about the specs, and after that, I'm going to go ahead and take some video samples to show you what the FIMI PALM is actually capable of doing. So we'll test out the performance and show you guys some sample videos. So with the specs, the FIMI PALM delivers you with 3 resolutions. It has 4K, 2.7, and even 1080p. However, the 4K only goes up to 30 frames per second. That's the only frame rate that you get from the FIMI PALM. Whereas the 2.7 and the 1080p can actually give you 2 frame rates per second. There's 30 frames per second and also 60 frames per second. Now, this camera is actually a 1/2.66 inch camera that effectively gives you 12 megapixels. So you get a good high resolution from there for taking pictures as well. Now, handling the camera is the 3-axis gimbal. So it does a really good job of stabilizing the camera and giving you beautiful, buttery smooth footages. Because it's a gimbal camera, you get to do all the gimbal moves as well. It has all those modes available. You guys get pitch lock, which is similar to pan lock. You have follow, you have all lock, which locks all the gimbal axis, and also FPV if you want to take it a little bit creative, making the gimbal move as you want it to move. We're going to go ahead and test out this because this is capable of doing quite a bit. You can do time-lapse, you can do panorama, you can do slow motion. All that I'm going to try to see if I can get those video samples to show you guys. Also at the same time, I want to make sure you guys see how well this can stabilize the video. So because it's primarily designed for vlogging, but this is great for travel videos as well. So we're going to test out the video stabilization. It has 2 mics on it, one on the front and one on the side. So you guys will hear how the audio quality sounds like as well. So we'll do all those tests so that you guys know exactly what the FIMI PALM is capable of doing. All right, guys, let's go do it. Alright guys, in this video sample, I'm going to show you all the viewing angles of the FIMI PALM. There are 3 viewing angles that you get with this gimbal camera. There's narrow mode, there is ultra wide, and there's even super ultra wide. So right now I'm in narrow mode and I'm walking, and as you can see, it's a little bit cropped in. And in the narrow mode, you only can record it in 1080p at 30 frames per second. So I'm walking slowly and you can see how well it is stabilized and how it's focused right on my face. I'm going to do the same walking backwards in the next mode, which is going to be the ultra wide mode. Alright guys, now I'm in ultra wide mode and you can see how the lens has changed. You can see a lot more on the sides. You get a lot more in the picture. So this is ultra wide mode and I'm still recording at 1080p at 30 frames per second. I'm going to now switch to 4K 30 frames per second so you can see the video quality difference. Alright guys, this is the same mode, ultra wide mode, in 4K 30 frames per second, so you get to see the video quality difference that you get from the FIMI PALM. Same resolution, but at a higher resolution, 4K ultra wide, and this is how it looks like. And this is the last mode in FIMI PALM. They call it the super ultra wide mode or super scope. You sort of got a little bit wider angle. It's still recording in 4K 30 frames per second. Hope that shows you any difference. Alright guys, in this video sample I'm showing you the stabilization of the gimbal camera. I'm walking normally and as you can see it's pretty stable. I don't see no drastic movements or up and down movements from the screen that I'm looking at in the FIMI PALM. Right now I'm also recording not through the FIMI PALM. This audio quality is coming from the mic that I have on me, and I'm going to switch now to the FIMI PALM to show you guys how the voice quality also sounds like while I'm recording. This is how it sounds like in the FIMI PALM. It's pretty close. I'm not that far away from the FIMI PALM, so you can judge how the audio quality looks like when I'm recording through the FIMI PALM. I'll switch back now to my mic that I have on me. This is how now the audio sounds like from the mic that's coming out. So now you guys have a comparison between both the mic and the FIMI PALM. All right. So far the stabilization also looks pretty good. It's pretty impressive. But what I'm going to do now is just jog a little bit, see how FIMI PALM handles while I'm jogging. All right, what do you guys think? Drop a comment below. One thing I like about this is that it has the face tracker, inbuilt face tracking
it automatically detects my face and tries to keep me in the center of the frame. So it does a really good job in that. I tried moving and it tracks me pretty well, which is pretty impressive. I'm gonna do that again. As you can see, it does a really good job in keeping me right in the center of the frame. The auto track feature is really good as well, while keeping the video quite stable. And that's the impressive part about this FIMI Palm. This gimbal camera is doing a really good job in making sure I'm right in the center, and I am not, I'm looking while I'm walking, and it's keeping my video pretty stable.
Here's another example of the auto track feature in action. The gimbal is doing a very good job following me, making sure I'm always in the center of the frame. I tried dodging it a little bit and it still kept up with me, which is fantastic. You can always adjust the speed of how responsive you want the gimbal to be when it's moving as well. You can also record in flat color profile in FIMI Palm. In this sample, you can see the default color profile on the left has slightly higher contrast and saturation. The F-Log profile on the right has less saturation and contrast, giving more dynamic range for editing later. Here's a sample of time-lapse mode recorded in 1080p. This is a sample of slow motion in FIMI Palm. You can record slow motion in 8x or even 4x. However, you can only record in 1080p, and the camera seems to crop in a little bit. Nevertheless, the slow motion quality looks pretty good. Alright guys, that's all the video samples I have. Let's go back inside. Alright guys, I hope you found those video samples helpful and give you an idea what FIMI Palm is capable of doing. There are two more features that are worth mentioning. The first feature is FIMI Palm has built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectivity, which means you can pair your smartphones to the device and even control it remotely. This can be helpful in certain situations, especially when you want to control the FIMI Palm from a distance, so this is a must-have for sure. The second feature is that you can actually record in H.265 and H.264 coding format, which means you can still record your high-quality videos but at the same time saving less storage. So that's also a very helpful feature that I'm glad the FIMI Palm has. Now that I have tested this gimbal camera, I'm quite impressed with the performance and capabilities you get out of this pocket-sized gimbal camera. The 4K video quality is exceptional, and the ability to do narrow and ultra-wide viewing angle is amazing. When you're shooting your travel videos, you want to capture as much as you want, and having those two features is an absolute must. And I'm glad that FIMI Palm has those two features. Now, if you're already comparing the FIMI Palm to DJI Osmo's Pocket, then the FIMI Palm does have some advantages over the DJI Osmo's Pocket. The first advantage is the wider viewing angle. The Osmo's Pocket only gives you 80 degrees, whereas the FIMI Palm can give you up to 128 degrees. The next feature is the built-in joystick that FIMI Palm has, whereas the DJI Osmo Pocket, you will need to buy an extra accessory for that. Another advantage you have with FIMI Palm is the bigger battery life. The DJI Osmo's Pocket only gives you about 120 minutes, whereas the FIMI Palm can actually give you up to 240 minutes. The next advantage you also have with the FIMI Palm is the 1/4-inch screw that you have at the back of the gadget. You can attach accessories like a rod or even a tripod. And lastly, the built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth connectivity. That feature, if you need to get that on the DJI Osmo's Pocket, you again have to buy an additional accessory, whereas this is already built into the FIMI Palm and it's beautiful connecting to your smartphone. So all in all, the FIMI Palm becomes more value for the money, whereas for the DJI Osmo's Pocket, you'll have to buy a couple of accessories to get all those features. Now, speaking of price, the FIMI Palm goes for around $299, whereas the DJI Osmo's Pocket can sometimes go for $299, but adding all those accessories like the joystick, built-in Wi-Fi, and more, it's going to rack up and it's going to cost you more. So the FIMI Palm again wins in that battle as well. Alright guys, to sum it all up, FIMI Palm is definitely good for vlogging, but it's absolutely great as a travel camera. It definitely eliminates carrying multiple devices such as GoPro, smartphones, and even those bulky DSLRs. I'm sure you might be carrying some of those devices with you when you're traveling, but having this with you is very handy. It's so small, you can toss it into your pocket and you can use it on the go. Because it's so small, you can take advantage of placing them in tight spots and getting some creative shots as well. And put it in your pocket and spend more time in your travel and enjoying your travel. And when you need to capture something unique and beautiful, this is already in your pocket and all you have to do is just take it out and start recording in 3 seconds. There you go, guys. I hope you have all the information you need for choosing FIMI Palm as your next travel camera. I want to thank Peer Gear for sending this FIMI Palm. It was very helpful testing this gimbal camera out and really checking out the performance. I'm going to leave a link below in the description to check out Peer Gear's website. There's a lot of cool stuff on there, so I encourage you guys to please go ahead and check it out. Please hit that like button if you found this video helpful. It really helps me know what type of videos you guys like watching. Don't forget to smash that subscribe and notification button because I'm going to be making more videos on FIMI Palm and other helpful tips on using this gimbal camera creatively. And don't forget to watch other videos that I'm going to be leaving in the end screen, and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.